In Toronto's ultra-rich Bridle Path neighborhood, a boy was born into a world where the ceilings were taller than most people's dreams.
His name? Julian Maurice Belford. The Belford name wasn't just wealth, it was legacy. Real estate, banking, auto, tech. There wasn't a major Canadian industry untouched by the Belfords. Julian didn't earn any of it. He inherited it. And because of that, he never learned to value anything. At 25, Julian was made CEO of the family empire, not because of skill, but because of his last name. But unlike his father, Julian was arrogant, impatient, and self-obsessed. He looked down on senior employees. He never said thank you to drivers or waiters. If someone gave advice, he'd snap.
I don't pay you to think. Just do it.
He believed anyone who earned less than him was less than him. And then there was his addiction, luxury and indulgence. Lavish parties, women, bottles of aged whiskey, and rooftop nights with meaningless laughter. He used to say,
Life's short. Burn it fast, burn it bright.
It started small. A failed deal, a struggling branch. The CFO warned him.
We need to slow spending, minimize exposure.
Julian scoffed.
Kings don't retreat, and I'm the king here.
He fired the CFO. Soon, the only voices left in the boardroom were those paid to agree. He wasn't listening to anyone, not even to reality. In 2022, Julian made two massive moves. First, acquired a dying tech firm in the US, and second, opened new headquarters in Dubai and Hong Kong. No research, no planning, just ego. Debt started to rise. Balance sheets bled red. But Julian was too busy with PR events, affairs, and designer suits. When questioned, he laughed.
Only losers worry. I build empires.
But the empire was rotting from the inside. Nothing collapsed overnight. It happened piece by piece. First, the international branches, then the Toronto office, then the penthouse, and finally, the mansion. One by one, investors pulled out. Banks took legal action. His so-called friends went silent. The media called it the quiet collapse of the Belford legacy. Julian watched people he once dismissed as nobodies now become CEOs while he was out of a job. Now, Julian lives in a modest two-bedroom apartment on the city's edge. No valet, no driver, no personal chef. He eventually joined a small IT consultancy, working as a mid-level analyst. Yes, Julian Maurice Belford, once worth hundreds of millions of dollars, now sat on Zoom calls, said,
Yes, sir.
and submitted weekly reports. He made his own coffee. He answered his own emails. He even cleaned his own dishes. And for the first time in his life, he began to feel human. One evening, sitting alone under an open sky, Julian looked up. No champagne, no city lights, just silence. And he said quietly to himself,
I disrespected those who built my empire. I ignored anyone who spoke the truth. And I believed I was invincible. But now I see, I owned nothing. I was only borrowing. The real owner sits above.
Dear listener, sometimes we believe we control our own destiny, but the truth is, we're just passengers. We row the boat, but God controls the tide. If He wills, He can lift the poor into palaces. If He wills,
he can bring a king to his knees.
Julian learned this the hard way, that character matters more than cash, that ego is expensive, and that humility is not a weakness, it is protection.
So remember, your behavior shapes your fate, and your fate lives in the hands of the one who sees beyond all. He gives, and when he takes, he teaches. Thank you for listening. If you liked this story, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps me keep creating more stories for you.